Honorable Ambassador Sir, distinguished guests, good afternoon and a hearty welcome to each and every one of you. We are here today to celebrate the 132 birth anniversary of the founding fathers of the Republic of India, B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar was a jurist, economist, politician, and social reformer who used his education and knowledge for the upliftment of marginalized communities. He is considered the architect of the Constitution of India, and his tireless efforts and advocacy for social justice have had a profound impact on the Indian society. We shall commence today's program with the Buddha Vandana. I request everyone to please rise.
तस्य भगवतो अर्हतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स नमो तस्य भगवतो अर्हतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि द्वितीयंपि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि द्वितीयंपि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि द्वितीयंपि संघं शरणं गच्छामि तृतीयंपि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि तृतीयंपि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि तृतीयंपि संघं शरणं गच्छामि पाणातिपाता वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समादियामि अदिन्नदाना वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समादियामि कामेषु मिच्छाचारा वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समादियामि मूसावादा वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समादियामि सूरामेरयमच्च प्रमादठाना वीरमणि सिक्खापदं समादियामि सब्बपापश्च अकरणं कुशलस्य उपसम्पदा सचित्तपर्योतपनम् एतं बुद्धानि शासनं साधु साधु साधु। महाकारुणिक तथागत गौतम बुद्ध की जय। डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर की जय। जय भीम जय भीम।
Thank you. I would like to now invite onto the stage His Excellency Sibi George, Ambassador of India to Japan, Honorable Deputy Chief of Mission Mayank Joshi, and other dignitaries to pay tribute to Dr. Ambedkar. Thank you. I now request the Honorable Ambassador to deliver the opening remarks. The remaining dignitaries may kindly take their seats.
Distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I welcome each one of you to this celebration to mark the birth anniversary of Babasaheb, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is remembered as the architect of the Constitution of India. Let me begin by quoting Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who said about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in 2015. He said, and I quote, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar is a Yug Purush who lives in the hearts and minds of crores of Indians. His life is characterized by unmatched determination and a firm commitment towards social justice. He made a mark as a bright lawyer, scholar, writer, and intellectual who always spoke his mind. Who can forget Dr. Ambedkar's contribution in making our constitution? He served the nation and the people tirelessly and selflessly. Let us pledge to dedicate ourselves to creating the India that Ambedkar dreamt of, an India that will make him proud. Unquote. Since its first meeting in December 1946, the Constituent Assembly took 2 years, 11 months, and 7 days to complete the task of finalizing the Constitution of India. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, as the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution, played a very important role in the preparation of the Constitution. What came out of these long deliberations by some of the best minds of the world is one of the most unique constitution which provided a framework for peaceful governance of our motherland and its emergence as a beacon of hope in the comity of nations. Indian constitution emerged as a model format to many new independent nations all across the globe. It is the framework within which India re-emerged as a major power, overcoming the suppression imposed on one-sixth of the humanity that spanned over hundreds of years. This constitution has also provided India the necessary framework to make notable achievements in diverse fields, including atomic energy, space science, agriculture, biotechnology, and of course, information technology, for which India is well known the world over. It is a matter of pride for an ambassador to say with confidence that the economic and scientific transformation India achieved was under the constitution which establishes a sovereign secular democratic republic, guarantees justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status, and of opportunity. India today is a land of billion opportunities. India has overtaken China as the most populous country in the world. But we are proud that we govern ourselves as a sovereign democratic republic. Every day it is the Constitution of India that gets celebrated when a democratic election takes place in some parts of India. In this first year of Amrit Kal, when our nation is marching towards becoming a developed country by 2047, it is all the more important that we recall the contributions of the founding fathers of our constitution and pay homage to them. The best homage we can pay is to rededicate ourselves to the cause of our constitution and also make our contributions in our march towards Amrit Kal. Dear friends, during the visit of Prime Minister Kishida to India last month, both the Prime Ministers agreed to celebrate 2023 as India-Japan Year of Tourism with the theme Connecting Himalayas with Mount Fuji. I would urge you all to make your own contributions in further developing the people to people connect between our two countries. In this connection, I have an appeal to make to each one of you present here today. In this modern era of social media, let us use social media to reach out to our friends in Japan on the economic and scientific achievements of India. Proudly project our successful space program, Chandrayaan and Mangalayan missions, highlight our quality education institutions like our IITs, IIMs, IISc, project our world class medical facilities, promote our wellness tourism centers, showcase our millions of serene landscapes and hundreds of millions of touristic attractions. Each positive image and success story of India we post in our today's social media contribute in attracting the world towards India. I request each one of you present here and each members of our associations to record short videos or post a photo at least once a week highlighting the billions of our success stories in our motherland. Imagine our engineers in Japan in their hundreds post videos on the excellent infrastructure being built in India and many projects with Japanese partnership. Imagine our scientists in Japan speak about India's contribution to modern medicine, including made in India vaccines. Imagine each one of our chartered accountants in Japan explaining the rigorous training they need to go through to become a qualified chartered accountant in India. Imagine our hoteliers and restaurant owners in Japan speak about India's rich and varied cuisines. Our yoga instructors all across Japan speaking about Ayurveda and wellness tourism in India. Dear friends, let us keep celebrating India in Japan. Let us continue to contribute in building our relationship with Japan. Let us contribute towards building an Atmanirbhar Bharat and also make our own contributions in Amrit Kal. Once again, I welcome you all and thank you for joining me today in celebrating Ambedkar Jayanti. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights and your inspiring words. We now have a series of speeches about Ambedkar's life and work. First, I invite Mrs. Sonali Meshram.
Thank you for inviting me. Supreme Jai Bhim, and very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to over respect and honor to Mahakarunik Tathagat Gautam Buddha and Vishwaratna Bodhisattva Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar, as it is a day of celebration and it's a day to value a special person who taught world the lesson of self-confidence. It's Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, the father of Indian Constitution. May the spirit of self-confidence and fight against oppression be with us in this Ambedkar Jayanti. And I wish you all the very happy 132nd birth anniversary of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. I would also like to thank Embassy of India in Tokyo and Mr. Ambassador CB George for conducting this great event every year. Also, I thanks to BAIAE, AIM, and all other Ambedkarized organization which are working in the field of education and for upliftment of students, and they are paying back to the society. And that's what Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar expected from each educated person to do for the society. Babasaheb, once while he was talking to his personal secretary, to Mr. Nanak Chand Rattu, he said that Nanak Chand, tell my people, whatever I have done, I have been able to do after passing crushing miseries and endless troubles throughout my life, fighting with my opponents. After great difficulties, I have brought this caravan here, where you've seen it today. Let this caravan march further, despite of hurdles, pitfalls, and difficulties that may come in its way. If my people, my lieutenants, are not able to take this caravan further, they should leave it where it is seen today. But in no circumstances should they allow this caravan to go back. And I think that our organization, BIA, is working in the same direction, which is very appreciating. Babasaheb, when he was giving a speech in Nagpur, He said that my final words of advice to you is to educate, agitate, and organize. Have faith in yourself. Baba Sahib always emphasizes on education. Education has immense impact on human society. Education, it trains mind to think and take the right decision. One can simply assume that the person is not in his proper sense until he is educated. In other words, man become a rational animal when he is educated. We all know Baba Sahib's thoughts on women equality. Baba Sahib, when he was studying in New York, at his very younger age, he wrote a letter to his father friends. And he mentioned in that letter that very soon we shall see the better days, and our progress will be greatly accelerated if male education is side by side pursued with female education. From this, it is very clear that Baba Sahib's thoughts on women equality exist from his very younger age. Baba Sahib also introduced an emancipatory bill, which is known as a Hindu Code Bill, which is intended mainly first is to abolish the different marriage system prevalent among Hindus and to establish the monogamy is the only legal system. Second is the confinement to right to property and adoption on women. Third is a restitution of conjugal rights and judicial suppression. But due to immense opposition of right-wing organization and large number of caste Hindu women protested against it, our Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru decided to drop this bill. Baba Sahib got disgusted from this and he resigned from the Nehru's cabinet. Baba Sahib always used to say that I measure the progress of community by the degree of progress which women has achieved. He also used to say that the relationship between husband and wife should be one of the closest friends. So friends, from this it is very clear that how progressive Baba Sahib's thoughts were and how they are useful and important in present scenario. Nowadays, many things which are happening in our country are against Baba Sahib's thoughts and against our constitution. It's the it's the moral duty of any government to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. And while doing their duties, it should be transparent and it should always increase the spirit of common brotherhood between the people. We all know that democracy rests on four pillars: legislature, executive, judiciary, and the press. And each pillar has their defined role as per the constitution. So it's the duty of government not to intervene in the other democratic pillars and also allow them to work freely and impartially in order to maintain and also sustain the democracy and democratic institution. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar said that the first thing in my judgment we must do is to hold fast to our constitutional methods of achieving social and economic objectives. The second thing we must do is not to lay the liberties at the feet of even a great man or trust him with powers which enables him to subvert the institution. In politics, bhakti or hero worship is the sure road to the degradation and the eventual dictatorship. The third thing we must do is not to be content with the mere political democracy. We must make our political democracy a social democracy as well. So, friends, on this occasion of 132nd birth anniversary of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, we must all take a oath to follow the fundamental principles stated by him so that our country will be a secular and democratic country as per the Constitution of India. Lastly, I would like to conclude and get ended with my speech that Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar said that I do not want that our loyalties as Indians should be in the slightest way affected by any competitive loyalties, whether it arises out of our religion, out of our culture, out of our language. I want all people to be Indian first, Indian last, and nothing else but Indians. Jai Bhim! Thank you so much.
Thank you for the thought provoking speech. I now invite onto the stage Mr. Isao Haga, member of the Japan Theravada Buddhist Association.
Jai Bhim! Jai Bhim! Jai Bhim! Namaste. My name is Isao Haga from Tokyo, Japan. I'm a Buddhist. I've taken Buddhist ordination in Thailand to become a Buddhist monk, bhikkhu, and Japan. I deeply respect Dr. Ambedkar and Japanese Buddhist monk Shurei Sasai. Sorry, from now I want to make a speech in Japanese. Sorry. こんにちは。本日はお招きをいただきまして本当にありがとうございます。アンベドカル先生を尊敬する皆さん、そしてインド大使館の方々、お集まりの日本人の皆さんに感謝をしたいと思っております。私は東京に住んでおります、サラリーマンで、仏教徒でありますけども、羽賀勲と申します。よろしくお願いします。私は日本のですね、禅宗の坊さんの資格を持ってまして、サラリーマンを辞めたら坊さんにすぐなれるんですけども、まだオプションは行使していないという状況でございます。また先ほどちょっと申し上げましたけども、タイに行きまして、出家しまして、テラワーダの僧侶として、ビクの生活を、短い期間ですけど、しました。また日本でもテラワーダ教会に属してまして、スマナサーラさんというスリランカのビクの下でですね、出家をしまして、今まで合計で3回出家をしております。で、日本の禅宗の坊さんでもありまして、毎日瞑想はしております。形はですね、日本の禅宗の座禅と同じなんですけども、もう精神の状況はもう全然違いますですね。やはりブッダ直伝の仏教はすごいなということをですね、日々感じております。で、先ほどJ ビームっていうふうに私申しましたけども、インド人のですね、仏教徒の間の挨拶でして、J っていうのは万歳っていう意味です。で、ビームというのはもう先生のお名前なんですけども、この J ビームっていうのをですね、タイとかスリランカ、ミャンマーの仏教徒の方に言ってもですね、全然通じません。これもインドの仏教徒の方に言うべき挨拶でございます。で、私はですね、インドにすごく興味を持ったきっかけというのが、高校の時にですね、リチャード・アッテンボローさんという監督のガンディという映画を見まして、5時間ぐらいの長い映画だったんですけども、それを見てもう興奮して、その日はもう眠れなくなりまして、早くインドに行きたいなというふうに思いました。で、大学はですね、東京外国語大学というところのインド・パキスタン語学科を受けましたけども、落ちてしまいました。というのも私は理科系でして、そのインド・パキスタン語学科のですね、試験科目に、数学とか物理とかっていうのはなくて、社会とか全然分からなかったので、落ちて当然なんですけども、インドに行きたいっていう思いを抱えながらですね、落ちました。で、その後ですね、縁がありまして、入った学校というのが、サウジアラビアの大学の日本文校に入りまして、そこではアラビア語とですね、イスラム教を勉強しました。で、ただ、イスラム教はですね、勉強していくうちに自分はちょっと合わないなというふうに分かりましたので、その後、日本の大学に入りまして、早速インドに行きまして、3ヶ月ほど向こうで暮らさせていただきました。 で、インドのですね、食事も好きですし、インドの目にするものすごく好きなんですけども、ただどうしてもですね、我慢できなかったのは、すごい差別があるっていうことで、なんとかこの差別っていうのはなくせられないものかなっていうのをインドにいる間も考えてました。ガンジーのことをすごく尊敬してたんですけども、なんでガンジーはこの差別というのを撤廃できなかったんだろうなっていうふうに学生時代に考えてまして、で調べていきましたら、博士のことを知りました。博士は自らですね、この差別を受けながらもしっかり勉強されて、法務大臣になって、インドの憲法でもですね、差別というのを謳ったわけでございますけども、いまだにインドではものすごい差別があって、日本人はあまり見たこともないし、理解できなかったんですけども、インドはすごく好きなんですが、その差別があるっていうところだけはちょっと好きになれないし、早くですね、差別を受けている方々も同じ人間としてですね、幸せな生活を暮らしていただきたいなというふうに思っております。で、インド人のですね、友達の中にも、私がJ ビームっていうふうに言うとですね、もうやめてくれという方がいまして、それで、お前は僕の友達だから許すけど、友達じゃなかったらぶん殴ってるぞっていうふうなことを言う人もいてですね、本当に日本のインドの方でもちょっと悲しいなっていうふうに、仏教徒として思うことがよくあります。それでちょっと余談になるんですけども、私の趣味の一つにですね、私と同じ名前の人に会うっていう趣味があります。で、今、仲良くしている友達、同じ名前の人が2人いるんですけど、1人はですね、高尾山の薬王院というお寺にいるんですね。同じ名前の人なんですけど。で、その人は、かなりご高齢の方なんですけど、会うといつもですね、笹井修礼を知ってるかという話をします。笹井さんっていうのは、その高尾山で修行して、お坊さんになった方なんですけども、会うたびに笹井さんの話を聞きますので、もう知らない間に笹井さんのことはものすごくよく知ってる人間になりました。笹井さんとは私もなんか縁があるのかなっていうふうに感じます。あともう一人ですね、同じ名前の人がいまして、その人は栃木でキリスト教の牧師さんをしてます。で、栃木に行くと、その方の教会に行って、もうずっと一晩中、イエスさんとかキリスト教の話をしまして、で、その方からは、ぜひ、キリスト教の牧師になってくれないかというふうに言われるんですけども、ちょっと話聞いてるうちに、自分はやっぱりもう仏教だなと、仏教が最高なんだなっていうふうに、思っている次第でございます。あとですね、私がそのタイで出家した理由の一つなんですけども、日産のですね、元 CEO でカルロス・ゴーンという方がいらっしゃいまして、で、その方はもともとレバノンの方なんですけども、レバノン大使館のパーティーに、縁があって呼ばれました。で、その時に森さんというですね、元総理大臣が来てたんですけども、その方が私にカルロス・ゴーンを紹介してくれました。で、カルロス・ゴーンはですね、私に自分はものすごくついてる男だというふうに言ってたんですけども、その理由が、彼はキリスト教徒なんですけれども、シリア語でお祈りもするし、ミサも受けてると。そのシリア語は、当時イエス・キリストが話していた言葉なんだけれども、そのシリア語で話すと、天使が来るっていうふうに私にマジで言ってたんですね。で、森首相もですね、そこの横で、俺はすごくついてる男だっていうふうに言っていて、ちょうど総理大臣を辞めた後だったんですけども、その後オリンピックのところでも途中で会長を辞めたりしたんですけども、もしそのまま続けてれば、おそらく電通の問題で逮捕されたんじゃないかと思うので、やっぱり森さんっていうのはついてる人だと思うし、カルロス・ゴーンもちょっと不思議な形で日本から出てったんですけども、やっぱり未だに捕まってないところを見ると、ついてるのかなと、あんまりいい意味じゃないですけども、思います。で、タイに行きまして、その前にですね、 タイで出家しようと思った瞬間なんですけども、電車の中にもですね、オレンジ色着た坊さんがいます。道歩いていてもですね、タイのお坊さんに会ったりとか、で、両国の博物館に行ったら、そこにたくさんのタイ人のお坊さんがいて、で、私にタイのお寺に来いっていうふうに言うんですね。で、タイのお寺に行ったら、こうナモタッサから始まるパーリ語のお経を一緒に唱えようっていうところで、お前はとにかくバンコクで出家しないとダメだよというふうに言われて、私の母親が亡くなったんで、母親の菩提を弔うっていう意味からも、タイに行きたいなと思って、で、タイに行きました。で、タイに行って、お寺に着きましたら、お寺の前にですね、日本の天狗なんですけど、カラス天狗っていう天狗の像がありました。で、私がこれ天狗だよねって言ったら、タイのビクがですね、いや、これは天狗じゃなくて天使だっていうふうに言うんですね。神様の国と、あと我々人間界を結ぶメッセンジャーがこの天使で、日本の天狗とそっくりなんですけども、で、神の世界も天使の世界も2600年のこのブッダがいた時代っていうのはもうあっという間だと。なので、パーリー語で経典を唱えると、神々、天使に通じるよというふうに言われまして、まさしくカルロス・ゴーンが言っていたことと同じことをタイでも言われました。で、修行してみると本当に、修行してよかったな、タイに行ってよかったなっていうふうな思いでございます。で、日本人の方にですね、ちょっとペーパーを配らさせていただいてまして、1枚もののペーパーで、来配文というふうに書かれたものがあります。ちょっと時間は押してるんですけども、ここでパーリー語のお経、さっきもちょっと皆さんで言ってたんですけど、言わせていただきたいんですが、まず来配文のところで、意味は書いてありますので、後で意味はご理解いただきたいと思うんですけど、ちょっと3回読みますので、日本の方ももし嫌でなければ一緒に言っていただきたいと思います。ナモタッサバガワトアラハトサンマサンブッタッサ。ナモタッサバガワトアラハトサンマサンブッタッサ。ナモタッサバガワトアラハトサンマサンブッタッサ。続きまして3形です。ブッダンサラナムガチャーミ、ダンマンサラナムガチャーミ、サンガンサラナムガチャーミ、ドゥティアンピブッダンサラナムガチャーミ、ドゥティアンピダンマンサラナムガチャーミ、ドゥティアンピサンガンサラナムガチャーミ、タティアンピブッダンサラナムガチャーミ、タティアンピダンマンサラナムガチャーミ、タティアンピサンガンサラナムガチャーミ。では、お配りしているペーパーのですね、裏面のところにですね、ダンマ・ベーダナっていうふうに書いてありますけど、この仏法を唱えることのですね、いいところっていうのが6つ書いてあります。で、私はその中で、丸2って書いてあるところなんですけども、サンディティコ、アカーリコ、エーヒパシコ、オーパナイコ、パッチャタン、ベリタポ、ビニューヒーティっていうところがすごく好きで、これはとにかく仏法っていうのは、ここに来てみんなで一緒に試してみようと。あなた自身で試してみようっていうことを言ってるんですけども、もう本当に自分でこのパーリー語の経典をやって、瞑想していて、この仏教っていうのは本当に精神的に素晴らしいエネルギーを与えるんだなっていうことを実感しております。ですので、もしご縁がありましたら、日本の方も、日本のお経もありますけど、ぜひ2600年の伝統のこのブッダ直伝のパーリー語のお経を読まれると、ちょっと効果が違うっていうことが分かられるんじゃないかなというふうに思っております。で、最後になりますけども、今ですね、日本の仏教徒、日本だけじゃないんですけど、世界の仏教徒っていうのは、もうかなり人数どんどん減ってきています。日本人は世界の三大宗教っていうと仏教を入れるんですけども、実は仏教は4番目で、キリスト教、ヒンズー教、そしてイスラム教ということで仏教は入ってません。で、仏教徒はこの後ますます人口が減るというふうに言われてまして、ヒンズー教とあとイスラム教はものすごく人数が増えていって、20年後にはイスラム教徒が世界のナンバーワンの仏教になるというふうに言われています。で、仏教学者の中にはこのままだと仏教がこの地球からなくなってしまうと いうふうに心配している方がいるんですけども、私は本当、インドのですね、仏教徒の方に頑張っていただいて、今1億5000万人の仏教徒がインドにいるということなんですが、インドで仏教をもっと盛んにしていただいて、この地球から仏教がなくなるようなことがないように、さらに仏教が盛んになるようにというふうに記念して私のスピーチを終わらさせていただきたいと思います。Jai Bhim! Dhanyavad!
Thank you for your fresh perspective. Next, I invite Mrs. Diksha Kotangale, Ambedkarite in Japan.
Respected CB George, Ambassador of India to Japan, respected guest, and my dear friends, very good evening to all and Jai Bhim. I am Diksha Kotangle, and on behalf of Ambedkar International Mission Japan, I am pleased to share my thoughts with you. As you know, whenever people talk about Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, they always limit him to the leader of downtrodden people. They always limit him to the leader of Dalits. He is the sorry. Is that who is limited for only this work? Other introduction people have about him. He is the principal architect of Indian Constitution. Well, that, of course, is the truth, which it would not be confined. And he was more than what people know about him, even today or just so many years. Dr. Ambedkar is still not fully understood or appreciated by the general masses. What people talk about him as a Masiha of downtrodden, as a chief architect of Indian constitution is very well the truth. But it would be incomplete to say just that. He was truly a multi-talented personality, intellectual giant, an economist by training. He was an anthropologist. He was a sociologist. He was a jurist and he was the first law minister of India. There are the various facets of his personality which people still do not understand. My friends, this is not all. He has done so much more. He has made many contributions in many other areas for the integration of India. With all this dimension in life, he was true nationalist at his core. The famous quote, Indian first, Indian last, and nothing else but Indians. It belongs to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and it is not belong to anyone else. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar had before him not only the unprivileged people of society but the entire society. Babasaheb always believes in equality. His vision of all social change and reclamation of human personality with universal. During his lifetime, he made many efforts and he used various strategies and methods to create a society which is based on the values of equality, liberty and fraternity. दोस्तों मैं एक लड़की हूँ, भारत देश की पुत्री हूँ और एक लड़की होने के नाते डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आम्बेडकर ने नारी जाति पर सारे उपकारों से भली भांति परिचित हूँ और उनके बारे में काफी कुछ पढ़ चुकी हूँ। स्वतंत्र पूर्व भारत में नारी को कोई विशेष अधिकार नहीं थे। लेडीज डिड नॉट हैव राइट टू इक्वालिटी। उदाहरण के तौर पे बता दूं, मृत व्यक्ति के समाप्ति के संपत्ति का वारिस सिर्फ उसका पुत्र हो सकता था, मगर आज कानूनन वो हक उसकी बेटी का भी है। और ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर ने लिखे हुए इस राज्य घटना के कारण हुआ है। अगर कोई औरत को किसी कारण डिवोर्स दिया जाता था तो उसकी उपजीविका के लिए उस पुरुष को अपनी आमदनी से उसे शेयर देना होगा। ये भी संभव हो चुका है राज्य घटना के कारण। अगर कोई लड़की विवाह योग्यता हो जाती है, शी हैज ऑल राइट टू सिलेक्ट हर ओन ग्रूम and these provisions are done into the Indian constitution by B.R. Ambedkar. Ladies were not allowed to take divorce from their husband, but today the constitution gives all us ladies the right to decide on this. आज अगर पति अन्यायी हो तो कोई भी सज्जन महिला उससे मुक्ति पा सकती है, बिल्कुल कानूनन। दोस्तों, ये बाबा साहेब ने हमें सबको बहाल किया हुआ भारत है, बिल्कुल मॉडर्न इंडिया। By doing all this provision into the Indian constitution for all the ladies irrespective of caste and religion. डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर सारी महिला जाति पर अनन्य साधारण उपकार किया है. आई एम सो लकी टू बी born in independent India. I cannot imagine the life which my foremothers and my great grandmothers lived before independence. Thank you for all that you did for India and for all that you have done for the human life. My dear friends, celebrating Baba Saheb Ambedkar's birth anniversary is not something for earning merit points, just like the blind followers celebrate the birth anniversary of their gurus. This is a big mistake. If someone thinks it this way, at least I am not in the favor of this point, and I'm sure many of you here will agree with it. The real purpose of celebrating today, of celebrating this great occasion, to implement and follow his technique in our life. In my view, we should cherish these memories. We should cherish the memory of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar as he has given all of us here. A valid philosophy of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was not only a man of intellect, but he was also a man of great moral character. He was a rebel minded leader and the ideas of democracy, freedom of thoughts and expressions. As regards to the philosophy of life, he was a regionalist, secular minded, and humanist thinker. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar embraced Buddhism to gain the basic human rights and self respect needed. He was totally against the inequality of human beings and the ideology of Hinduism. It's nothing but a construction of caste system. For the reason, although he was born in Hindu religion, he decided to quit. He decided to embrace Buddhism, and he did in 1956. Why Buddhism? From all the religions, why only Buddhism? Buddhism, because Buddha's teachings are based on the values of morality and ethics. It has no kind of caste discrimination. It has no kind of caste system in it. Buddha's teaching a model, rational and contemporary. And Buddhas make us think and live by a reason. Following Baba Saheb Ambedkar, lakh of his followers embraced with Buddhas, and they are living a life full of self respect and dignity. Finally, I would like to conclude by saying the cultivation of mind is the ultimate gain of human existence as the mind cultivates the sick light of knowledge. As knowledge comes, they understand Baba Sahib. As one understands Baba Sahib, they understand themselves. And as they understand themselves, they are on the right path of liberation. ये कारवा अब रुकने वाला नहीं, बाबा आपका बंदा अब किसी के सामने झुकने वाला नहीं. जय भीम, जय भारत. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. I now invite onto the stage Professor Hiroyuki Sato, Musashino University Department of Human Sciences.
Good evening, everyone. Namaskar, Debian Sajino. Minasan, konnichiwa. Thank you very much. My name is Hiroyuki Sato, and I'm a professor of Musashino University in Tokyo, Japan. I teach Indian philosophy, religion, and culture. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to His Highness Ambassador Shibi Josh and Deputy Chief of Mission Mike Josh and Priya Dost Prashanti. Today, I'm very delighted to celebrate Dr. Bhimarao Ambedkar's 132nd birth anniversary with you. And I'm very honored to get the opportunity to give a speech. Now, I would like to speak on the essential thought of Dr. Ambedkar. It is equality. And the one famous and wise saying about equality in Japan. Dr. Ambedkar's thought of equality is based on Buddhism. Gautama Buddha, who is the founder of Buddhism, says, a man's worth is never decided by birth. There is no any class of man. It means all men are equal. Dr. Ambedkar's thought and life is based on this saying of Gautama Buddha. Buddhism was born in India and spread into other countries, especially China, Southeast Asia, and Japan. However, Buddhism in Japan is not original Buddhism based by Dr. Ambedkar. I mean, the original Buddhism is Buddhism of Gautama Buddha. After coming to Japan, Buddhism was divided into any sect, and those sects are founded by Japanese Buddhists. A lot of Japanese are devotees of Buddhism, but it does not mean the devotee of original Buddhism and Gautama Buddha. Most of Japanese are devotees of sect founder of Japanese Buddhism. So, unfortunately, the Japanese doesn't understand the sort of equality of Buddhism and Dr. Ambedkar's thought. I think if Japanese know the original Buddhism and Dr. Ambedkar's thought, sort of equality, so they will be an inspiration to many Japanese. Next, I would like to introduce you one Japanese Enlightenment thinker. His name is Yukichi Fukuzawa. Do you know Yukichi Fukuzawa? This is you have one 10,000 yen. This is Yukichi Fukuzawa. He was born in 1835 and died in 91. He is a founding father of Keio University, which is one famous university in Japan. This university was founded by him in 1885. His thought strongly influenced the development of Japan. In 1868, one kind of the revolution happened in Japan, which is called Meiji Restoration. And Japanese society rapidly shifted from feudal society to the capitalist society. This restoration helped to modernize Japanese society. In this historical background, Yukichi Fukuzawa says, heaven or God. It means Uparavare. The Uparavare does not create one man, above or below other man. In Japanese, we say, 天は人の上に人を作らす。人の下に人を作らす。This is one of the most famous and rising saying in Japan. His saying clearly means all men are equal. So we can say it was necessary for the modernization of Japan to propagate the sort of equality. However, unfortunately, I have to say in modern society in Japan, the equality has not been fully realized yet. I think now is the time for Japanese to run the sort of Yukichi Fukuzawa and practice the equality. And in our society, there are a lot of problems and a lot of discussion about the reason of problems. However, the essential and basic reason of the problem is the lack of equality. If we can understand the equality and practice the equality, I believe we can solve all problems in our society. In conclusion of my speech, I will speak in Hindi. एक राजनेता कहते हैं, अगर डॉक्टर अंबेडकर का जी नहीं होते तो मैं कहीं होता, मैं यहाँ तक नहीं पहुंच पाता। और एक अभिनेता भी ऐसा कहते हैं, जब मैं दिक्कत में पड़ता तब डॉक्टर आम्बेडकर जी का पुस्तक पढ़कर मुझे प्रेरणा मिलती है। शायद भारत में सब लोगों को आम्बेडकर जी से कोई ना कोई प्रेरणा मिलती होगी। तो इसलिए जापान लोगों को भी डॉक्टर आम्बेडकर के विचार जानना चाहिए और उनका विचार प्रचार करना चाहिए। अगर जापानी लोग आम्बेडकर जी के विचार जानने की कोशिश नहीं करेंगे तो क्या होगा? क्या होगा? कपर आ जाएगा। और अगर जापानी लोग कोशिश करेंगे तो क्या होगा? मोगेंबो कुछ होगा। जी अच्छा, thank you for listening my speech and मेरी बात सुनने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय भीम।
Thank you. We shall now enjoy a series of performances by Indian students in Japan. First, we have a speech by Arsh Wanjari.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is a very special day because we are celebrating the birth anniversary of a very important person named Dr. Bhimrao Ramaji Ambedkar, also known as Babasaheb Ambedkar. He did a lot of good things to help people who were not treated fairly. Today, I want to tell you about him and why is he so important. Dr. Ambedkar grew up in a family that was not treated very nicely because of their background. Even though he was treated unfairly, he worked really hard and studied a lot to become a very smart person. He wanted to help other people who were not treated unfairly too. Dr. Ambedkar believed that education is very important because it helps us become smarter and do better things in life. He worked hard to help others, people to get an education too, so they could be successful and happy. Dr. Ambedkar saw that many people were not treated fairly because of their background or where they came from. He fought to change this by making laws that will help everyone be treated the same way, no matter who they are. Even though Dr. Ambedkar is not with us today, his his teachings and ideas still live on. People all over the world are inspired by him and are working hard to make the world a better place for everyone. In conclusion, Dr. Ambedkar was a very important person who did a lot of good things to help people. He believed that education is important and that everyone should be treated fairly. We can learn a lot from him and try to be like him by working hard and being kind to others and making the world a better place. Uh, Thank you for listening. Jai Bhim.
Thank you, Art. Next, we have a speech by Vivan Godghate.
JB, and a very good evening to everyone. I am Ivan Gorgate, and I wish you all a very happy Ambedkar Jayanti. Today I am here to share with you the reflection of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar on the significance of education. Dr. Bimra Ambedkar was a well-known teacher himself. He established People's Education Society in Mumbai and Aurangabad to educate the students of Dalit community. His educational philosophy is reflected in his lectures, his published articles in various magazines, and his work in the educational institutions. He said that every educational institute be an agency of a changing society. Dr. Ambedkar strongly held that education should be a priority for the society, utilized for growth of individuals with character. Dr. Ambedkar wanted a type of education that not only inculcates awareness and fulfillment of human rights among citizens, but also teaches human dignity and justice in India. According to him, education could open the eyes and encourage the oppressed ones to fight and remove injustice and exploitation they are suffering from ages. He recognized that lack of education was the main cause for the backwardness of poor people. He preferred humanistic education, which enables a man to rediscover himself. He put all his efforts to ensure that the educational opportunities provided to all the citizens of independent India without any discrimination, for which he framed some important rights in the Indian Constitution. Education is something which ought to be brought within the reach of everyone. This was the fundamental educational thought of Dr. Ambedkar. For Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, education was the main key to open the doors of light, vision, and wisdom. Take education, be united, and do the struggle is the main message of his to the society and nation. He says that education and society have a bounded relationship because the progress and development of the society is possible only through education. The power of making the man free from exploitation and slavery comes from education. He believed that education can act as a change agent to bring equality into society. He had contributed significantly to awaken the depressed class, to make them aware of their situation, to raise their voice, and show them education as a path for their political, economical, and social upliftment. He motivated the Dalits to merge with the upper caste in social, economic, and political aspects through the slogan of educate, agitate, and organize. Thank you. Jai Bhim.
Thank you, Vivan. Next, we have a musical performance by Unika Meshram.
उद्धरली कोटी कोए भीमा तुझा जन्मामुळे उद्धरली कोटी कोए भीमा तुझा जन्मामुळे एक ज्ञान ज्योती रे कोटी कोटी ज्योती तळपताच ते जाणे तुझ्या धरतीवरती अंधार दूर तो पळे निमा तुझ्या जन्मामुळे अंधार दूर तो पळे निमा तुझ्या जन्मामुळे बंद पायातील साखळ दंड तडा तडा तुटले तू ठोकताच दंड झाले गुलाम मोकळे विमा तुझ्या जन्मामुळे झाले गुलाम मोकळे विमा तुझ्या जन्मामुळे तुझे वृक्ष तैसाच होता समाज हिरवी हिरवी पाने अंतयालाच आज बुद्धाची आली फळे भीमा तुझ्या जन्मामुळे अमृताची आली फळे भीमा तुझ्या जन्मामुळे गवडी मोल जिनेवा मनसे होते आज जुडे जगताशी प्रेमाचे नाते बुद्धकडे जग हे वळे निमा तुझ्या जन्मामुळे बुद्धकडे जग हे वळे निमा तुझ्या जन्मामुळे उद्धरली कोटी कुळे भीमा तुझ्या जन्मामुळे
Thank you, Anika. For the last performance of today, we have a dance by Urvi Jadhav. Thank you, Urvi, for the delightful performance. That brings us to the end of the events for today. On behalf of the Embassy of India, I once again thank you for joining us to celebrate the life and work of Dr. Ambedkar. Let us honor his memory by renewing our commitment to his ideals and working towards a just society. Thank you. The refreshments are waiting you outside. Thank you.